Hey guys, Frank with Mud Creek and pet peeve number 2. We get asked a lot of questions about the bracing of our walls. Some people feel as though they don't need to be braced. I, for one, am all for bracing. If you think about it, during the build and when you go ahead and you apply your stain, okay, I'm just going to grab some of this Viterro Shadow Gray stain, and I'm just going to very sloppily, that's not even a word, I think, add stain to this piece of wood that started out nice and flat. What the stain does, this stain has alcohol in it. Most stains are alcohol based unless you're using an acrylic paint stain. Acrylic paint watered down, the water is going to open up the pores just like the alcohol is doing right now on this. Just put it on just like that. Now, this started out as a flat piece, and now you're seeing that it's actually starting to, I think that you can see that, is starting to bend. This arch is going to create a problem later on because it's going to continue to bend and warp, especially this wall being that the width of it is so thin. It's going to continue to bend, and then when you go and you lay it down flat on something, there's a good possibility you're going to crack it from this point over, which is something you don't want. Some people think that if you go ahead and you stain the back, okay, you will straighten it out. Yes, you will. The only thing I have to say is, that, and this will work, don't get me wrong, the only thing I have to say about this is all you're doing is you're adding stain. You're not sealing the wood, you're actually opening the pores with the alcohol, and once the alcohol dries, look at that. Once the alcohol dries, that wood is still pretty much open to the element. Now, I don't know about you guys, but most of the train layouts out there are either in warehouses, some are in storefronts, most are in basements. Basements, I don't care where you live, basements are below ground, and your concrete foundation or your brick wall foundation is going to create moisture. So what's going to happen, I'm sorry, is that once this is dry, the moisture from your basement is going to wind up warping these even more. Okay, so by taking, I'm going to put this aside for just a second, and you can see how much that actually came up. This is a pretty thick paintbrush. It actually came up pretty high, just like that. Now, by taking some 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch stock, what we do is we brace the back. Now, I just did this for demonstration purposes. I use super glue, not something I normally use on my models, but I use some super glue to hold these two pieces in place, and I just randomly put them someplace. And I want to show you the difference in what happens to the wood. Again, it's not just during the weathering, it's also when they're sitting in your basement and they're on the layout and everything looks beautiful. You go back down a week and a half later and you say, oh my God, what happened? The glue joints all popped and it looks like hell. Simple bracing, and I'm going to let that sit for just a second. Simple bracing, just like that, with the 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch on the back, glued to the backside, does wonders for your models. Not just short term, but long term as well. This will never move. It'll never start to warp when it's assembled, because the one thing you don't want to happen is to have these two walls sit together and try to get that back in, and you could possibly crack. You could possibly crack at the line. But that's just me. I'm just putting that out there. Again, this guy is staying nice and flat. As you can see, there's absolutely no warping in this whatsoever. Just like that. I'll even show you the top side, nice and straight. Where this one just took off in all different types of directions. Just like that. Can you place this in between two pieces of paper towel and put a heavy weight on it and pray to God it doesn't move later on once it's assembled? You sure can. But for that little bit of effort, turn your kits from standard models into craftsman kits and add the bracing. Hope you found this interesting. Thanks, guys, and talk to you soon.